Hey everybody, it's Donna and we're back with some animal spirits, and today is the giraffe. How pretty. So it's number 29 and his message is see the big picture. So I absolutely love the giraffe, the animal, the giraffe. I loved them before I saw them in person. And then the first time that I can remember seeing them was on a bachelorette party in San Francisco, and we went to the San Diego Zoo, and I was freaking out over the meerkats, however you pronounce it, and the giraffe. The family was so sweet, and all I can remember is they were just, the fence was not even 4 feet tall, and of course, you know, a giraffe is a million feet tall. And I was like, what if they run out? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, they're so big, and what happens? And they knew they could leave, I'm sure, and they didn't. They just were hanging out. They're very peaceful and graceful. This is what, like, it gets me so mad when I see people, the hunters, killing them, because it's like, really? I mean, they're literally just so graceful and sweet. They just were in the little pack of their friends and family, and they just stayed in their little space, and they were just really amazing and calming to watch, and their markings are just amazing. So I loved getting this card, and I was curious what it talked about. So seeing the big picture is about, you know, the giraffe can see for miles, and he's not really paying attention to all the little small petty things around him right now, or her. They're just looking straight ahead, like, all right, this is my goal. I know I'm going to get there, and this is what I'm striving for, and whatever the happiness in my life, I see the final picture, and I'm just going to keep going. And that's really at a time right now what we have to do. We're coming to the end of the forced quarantine for the coronavirus. And it's a time when you have to make decisions if you're going to open your business and how many people, and things are different now. So things are starting to start back up, but that doesn't mean that things are where they were a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. So it's just staying focused and taking in what you have learned with everything in the last couple of months, and this time that you have had time to stay home or work from home, and parts of yourself that you got to reconnect with that you may have forgotten about, and take that with you on this new journey. So think of it as something exciting, not something negative, and just try to bring into it the idea of who am I? What is this new for me? What is this new Donna going into this new time? And I definitely am taking that very serious in my own life and how I'm integrating things, and even just my home, for example. So I don't have the ideal neighbors. So since I've moved in, I realized I may have to this isn't my forever home. Let's say that. So for the past couple of years, I've been fixing things, but not really putting my heart into it. And my mind is just on me selling the house eventually. And I realized, you know, listening to Louise Hay again, and she talks about having your home, and you have to love your home for someone to buy a loving home, and then you'll go into a loving home. So I focused a lot on my neighbors that I had before here were even worse. They were really like trying to break into my house, and it was just it was crazy. It wasn't an area that should have happened, and it was a really strange man, and so it was just, so I have to stop that negative pattern, because somewhere in me that's happening. So I decided to just love this house to death. So even though I've had a lot of repairs, I am like, I'm going to go into every single room and love it and redo it and just make it the ideal home the way it is now. Regardless of any reasons it's not ideal, I'm going to make it just beautiful and artistic and colorful in the way that the way I envisioned this home when I bought it. So I've been doing that, and it's really amazing how powerful that has been for just the whole energy in my home. It just feels so much better, and that makes sense because it's feng shui. But I'm taking that with me. So that was a learning that I had through this time. And when I first saw this card, it was interesting because I am a big picture person, so I do really well with seeing 5 years ahead or my destination, and I have a harder time with taking a step back and doing something over and over again if I have to. I want to just plow through and go. I want to get to the destination. And so that in my life is a learn to enjoy the journey and the process and the happiness along the way to the final destination of happiness. So it's a package deal, not just you do all these things and that's your ideal home or ideal job. And so that was another message on this card, which was interesting because it was the first thing I thought. I was like, I'm such a big picture person. My challenge is getting back down, and maybe I have to go back and revisit these things on my house that I don't want to have to do again. These things that have been such a pain, and finding an electrician has been difficult. And then as soon as I made that commitment to say, all right, I'm just going to love this house as much as I can. I'm just gonna put my heart into every single room. I found an electrician. I found a really great grass man, lawn man, and from him I got a really great electrician, and then I have something on my roof. I'm telling you, I'm like crazy with home stuff. And I have one roof guy and he's not showing up. He keeps saying he's gonna show up and he doesn't, and he means well, I guess. But then I found he offered me another roof guy. So if that guy doesn't show up again, I have another roof guy. So as soon as I started to I changed my pattern of my long-term goal. I see my forever house. And even though this may not be it, that doesn't mean I don't need to be putting love into my home now. Does that make sense? So you may be someone who is only looking at the repairs in your home, and you're like, I'm never going to get to that forever house, where I was like, just forever house, I'm not even going to look at this house. So both messages on this card are to integrate both. So to do what I'm doing now, whereas still have that vision board of my ideal home someday, and who's around me and who's in my home and who's around my home, and where am I and what am I near, and also loving the home and the area I'm in now, and loving all the aspects of it, because I'm going to love every single room in the home because I'm taking control of that energy. And I think that's another part of this, is taking control of what you really want, instead of just going to work because it pays the bills, or doing these 5 things because somebody said this would be good to do for even children. Like, these are 20 things that my kids need to do. Maybe you learned to take a break. So maybe now when you're working up the schedule for your children, add in that break time for your children so that they can adjust. It's a lot of stress on kids now. I think. I mean, when I was a child, I couldn't afford to have all these activities. But even that, I mean, the people who could afford it, I just don't think there was that many. And kids are having like full-time jobs as kids with all their activities. So maybe seeing what you can pull back on a little bit and give your kids that space to be a kid and run outside and play with the neighborhood kids and all that. So just take what you've learned in this time and see which part you're at. I knew exactly where I was in this, and I literally was thinking this morning about how things have shifted. And I said this to a friend of mine, Sylvia. I was like, I've been really just focused on selling the house, and I loved this house when I bought it. So it's just finding that love again, and and that energy transitions into everything. It transitions into my relationships. It transitions into my jobs. I have all these jobs in my own company. So everything gets more love, right? Can't be a bad thing. So see where you can go. And again, it's the number 29. So we add that up. So it's 9 and 2, which is 11, which is a master number. Or if you have anything to do with 11, maybe you see 1111 a lot. Or the number 2, if you add them 2 together, and those 2 together. And it's another number for the divine. So that's partnership. It's love. It's relationships. It's another a great card. So have a great day, and hopefully you got something out of this. And I will be adding lots of new different videos, and I'm going to be integrating all the things that I have been doing for my own personal health. And because I love to share what I learned. I actually have a hard time with just enjoying it myself before I want to share it, but I have had the time to enjoy these things myself, and I can't wait to share with you all the new things I've learned for different healthy ways to keep yourself very energized and keep your organs healthy and keep yourself in a great space. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please DM me. Please follow me on Facebook and subscribe here. And Facebook is Divine Inhale LLC. I also have a group, Seeker Divine Inhale, and you have to join that, and I will approve you as soon as you join. And I also am on Instagram as Donna Divine Inhale, and my Twitter is Divine Inhale. So pretty consistent with all of those. And let me know if you have any questions or if you have a request of a certain subject you want me to talk about. Have a great day. Yay.